What was life like before the modern world we know today? Long before the 16th century, people lived in powerful empires, fought brutal wars, and made groundbreaking discoveries that shaped history. From the first human civilizations to the age of knights and explorers, history was full of mysteries, struggles, and achievements that still influence our world today. In this video, we'll explore how the world evolved before the 16th century, uncovering lost knowledge, legendary battles, and the lives of people who lived through it all. Let's dive into the past and uncover the untold stories of before the 16th century. Humanity had already built massive cities, developed incredible inventions, and fought countless wars. Some societies thrived, while others collapsed, leaving behind ruins and legends. Timeline of history before this turning point is filled with events that shaped nations and cultures. In this journey, we will explore how civilizations first began, the rise and fall of powerful empires, the daily life of people during the Middle Ages, the devastating impact of plagues and wars, the Renaissance and the revival of knowledge, the early explorers who set sail for unknown lands, and finally, the global transformations that led to the modern era. Section 1. The birth of civilization. Before humans built great cities, there were hunters and gatherers, moving from place to place in search of food. At around 10,000 BCE, the Neolithic Revolution changed everything. People began farming, domesticating animals, and settling in one place. Mesopotamia, the first cities. One of the earliest civilizations, Mesopotamia, rose between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers in modern-day Iraq. It was home to the Sumerians, who built the first known cities, including Babylon. Invented writing, cuneiform, the wheel, and some of the earliest laws. Egypt, the land of pharaohs. Meanwhile, along the Nile River, ancient Egypt flourished. Egyptians were known for building pyramids, advanced medicine, and one of the earliest writing systems, hieroglyphics. Their civilization lasted over 3,000 years, ruled by powerful pharaohs who were seen as living gods. The Indus Valley and China's early dynasties. Around the same time, the Indus Valley civilization in modern-day India and Pakistan built advanced cities with drainage systems and trade networks. In China, the Shang and Zhou dynasties introduced bronze tools, silk production, and the early roots of Chinese philosophy. These early civilizations laid the foundations for future empires, setting the stage for great advancements and conflict. Section 2. The rise and fall of ancient empires. As time passed, small villages grew into powerful kingdoms and empires that ruled vast territory. Greece, the birthplace of democracy. By 500 BCE, the Greeks developed ideas that would influence the world for centuries. They introduced democracy, philosophy, and scientific thought. Thinkers like Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle questioned everything, while Greek warriors fought epic battles, such as the famous war between Athens and Sparta. The Roman Empire, builders of a global power. Rome began as a small city-state but grew into a mighty empire that ruled much of Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East. The Romans built roads, aqueducts, and legal systems that still impact the world today. However, by 476 CE, the empire collapsed due to corruption, invasions, and economic struggles, leading to the Middle. Section 3, the Middle Ages, life in a feudal world. After the fall of Rome, Europe entered a time of kings, castles, and feudal lords. Life during the Middle Ages was difficult, and most people lived as peasants who worked for the nobility in exchange for protection. Knights and castles. The Middle Ages were filled with knights, chivalry, and epic battles. Feudalism structured society, with kings granting land to lords, who in turn relied on knights for defense. Black Death, a devastating plague. In the 14th century, the Black Death, bubonic plague, swept across Europe, killing nearly 50 million people, almost half the population. The pandemic changed society, weakening the feudal system and leading to major social and economic shifts. The rise of Islam and the Golden Age. While Europe struggled, the Islamic Golden Age, 8th–14th century, saw scientific discoveries, medical advancements, and cultural achievements in the Middle East and North Africa. Scholars in cities like Baghdad and Cordoba translated Greek and Roman texts, preserving knowledge that would later help spark the Renaissance. Section 4, the Renaissance, the rebirth of knowledge. By the 15th century, Europe began emerging from the Dark Ages. The Renaissance was a time of incredible progress in art, science, and exploration. Great artists and thinkers. Artists like Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, and Raphael created some of the most famous paintings and sculptures in history. Meanwhile, thinkers like Nicholas Copernicus and Galileo Galilei questioned old ideas about the universe, paving the way for modern science. The printing press revolution. In 1440, Johannes Gutenberg invented the printing press, allowing books to be produced quickly. This made knowledge more accessible, leading to a rise in literacy and new ideas spreading across. Section 5, the Age of Exploration and the Global Shift. As the world entered the late 15th and early 16th centuries, new discoveries and global connections changed history forever. Explorers set sail. By 1492, Christopher Columbus reached the Americas, opening the door for European colonization. At the same time, Vasco da Gama found a sea route to India, and Ferdinand Magellan's expedition became the first to sail around. The fall of Constantinople, 1453. The Ottoman Empire conquered Constantinople, ending the Byzantine Empire. This forced European nations to seek new trade routes, further fueling exploration. The Protestant Reformation. In 1517, Martin Luther challenged the Catholic Church, leading to the Protestant Reformation, which divided Christianity and changed religious power structure. Before the 16th century, the world had already experienced the rise and fall of empires, deadly plagues, incredible inventions, and legendary figures. But as the 1500s began, humanity stood on the edge of even greater transformations: global exploration, the scientific revolution, and the birth of the modern. If you enjoyed this deep dive into history, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more history content. Which historical era would you like to see next? Let us know in the comments.